Let's build a snowman. Look at how cute this is going to be, friends. I am so excited to bring you this. Last year, the scrapwood snowman was a huge hit, so I gave him a little bit of a change and brought you a new one. The first thing I did was paint that backboard in the color of celery by Waverly Paint. And once it was dry, I'm now taking some brown paint and kind of going over that celery, kind of giving it an older vintagey looking color. I did dry that with the heat tool in between. And we'll set that to the side and we'll paint all of the pieces for our snowman. I'm just using a nice bright white. Painted the hat, the brim, and the buttons in black. And now we're using vintage green by Folk Art for the tree. We'll use a little brown on the stem. And we will use some Waverly chalk paint in the color of pumpkin for that nose. All right, and now I'm going to use a little Americana Folk Art in the color of Santa Red and paint that red heart. That one does take 2 coats of paint. Once it was dry, we are going to take the sanding tool to the Santa hat and the brim. And now I'm going to use this little stamp I found on Amazon with some distressed oxide ink in the color of Vintage Photo. And we're going to stamp right over the top of that hat. You guys, I just love how the stamp turns out with this and that color. It's just, makes it stand out so nice. All right, I went ahead and took that sanding tool to the brim of the hat. I decided I didn't want to use the sanding tool on the little snowman, so I'm using the black ink pad. I'm just roughing around the sides of all of the white. Make sure that you dry it in between so that you don't get smudges all over the place. It's very easy to do. Now we'll take the sanding tool. We'll do the same thing to the buttons. And all of the remaining pieces, the tree, a little bit on the nose, and the heart. Now, guys, this is just the way I like this. If you don't like that little vintagey look and you like that to remain very crisp, you don't have to do this part. Do it the way you like it. Use the colors that inspire you, that you like to decorate with. I'm just trying to give you some ideas of things that you can do and how to put your snowman together. All right, now we're just going to take all the pieces and build him together. I went ahead and glued all of those down except for that top one where the little face is, because we're going to put this little scarf on. So I have just a little piece of fabric. I attached a small piece around the back. And you can see where I'm kind of bunching it up, trying to figure out how I'm going to do that little scarf. So we're just going to put a little piece of hot glue down there at the bottom, and I'm just going to kind of scrunch it up, make it look like it's twisted around his neck a little bit, not twisted, bunched up around his neck. And then I'll cut this off and wrap it around the back again, finish that piece off. And then we'll glue that piece down. Now I'm taking the rest of that fabric, scrap fabric, and just kind of playing with it to figure out how I want the rest of that scarf to go. I decided just to tie a simple little knot, make it look like it was tied around his neck. Now my fabric was a little bit curly. You can see it's curling a little bit. It didn't want to sit straight, so I went ahead and added a little bit of hot glue underneath the edges of the fabric. You'll see it here in just a second when I put that back down there. I guess I put the hat on before I did the scarf, guys. So there we go. There's the hat. I apologize. My camera Just didn't get such a great angle on that. I didn't realize that until I was doing the editing. I just love how that big heart looks on there. Adding the buttons, and we'll put the tree on there. And there we go. Now we'll fix the scarf. So you can see it was a little bit curled. It just didn't want to sit right. Just kind of fluffed it a little bit. Added a tiny piece of hot glue there on the board. One at the top, one at the bottom, and then I did, I believe, one on the other side as well. Just love how darn cute that is. Now, I didn't want any eyes on my little snowman, but if you guys want eyes, you can put eyes. This kit is available in the shop. I'm so excited to bring this new kit to you guys. It comes with all the pieces that you see, of course, without the fabric, but all of the wood pieces will be there. I went ahead and stamped the word winter right at the bottom. And I just love how stinking cute this turned out, you guys. Now, I decided I still wanted it to look a little bit more vintagey. I went ahead and took my sanding tool around the edges. Scuffing it up just a little bit. Now, I think it looks great just as it is. And you could probably leave it just like that. But for whatever reason, I felt the need to put a little bit of ink around the edges, just kind of give it a little bit more depth. But I think either way would look great. And you do what you like. I thought it just helped blend that black of the hat and the buttons into there a little bit better. Isn't that so stinking cute, you guys? Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed, that you were inspired to make one yourself. If you enjoy this, please give it a sprinkle, friends. Thanks so much for watching. Love y'all.